What's going on, everyone out there? Been having fun with this series where I'm building with Arcade.dev and Mastra. If you're not familiar, Arcade.dev is the runtime for enterprise AI agents. So, if you want to know, for example, who the user is, who the agent is, what tools it has access to, what scope it has on those tools, and what action it actually took on that tool, that's where Arcade comes in. Mastra is an agentic framework. They've got a bunch of cool features from memory, suspend and resume, which we talked about last time. And actually, they had a hackathon yesterday with Elasticsearch, which was really fun. Um, Let me pull that up. And also, just quickly want to say that hackathons are really starting to blow me away. Yeah, the wonderful team, JD, Philip, Dan, Ashwin, ran this event. And yeah, the projects are super impressive. So I'm excited today to deploy and then also to just kind of check out, like, yeah, what exactly is going on with the agent scene, baby. So I'm going to start off with just one news story today. I think people liked the news segment last time, so let's take a look. Okay, the GitHub outage, that's a pretty good one. Take a look at what actually happened on the GitHub outage. I saw that cursor dropped Origin. I haven't checked that out yet. We'll probably do a stream where we check it out. But GitHub had an outage that lasted 7 hours and 47 minutes. What happened? The outage began when traffic reached a new peak and a critical infrastructure component in our central US data center failed to scale with it. Even the way that they're wording this is interesting because it certainly seems like this sentence is basically GitHub saying, yeah, agents are absolutely hammering GitHub. And, like, yeah, who could have predicted that, right? So recovery required several coordinated actions, rerouting traffic, isolating infrastructure, and restoring service in stages. Okay, so, woo! I mean, you want to talk about up and to the right. Yo. So, yeah, I mean, this is some absolutely insane growth from merged PRs to commits per month to new repos per month. Just GitHub is getting absolutely slammed. It was 5 million in 23, and today it's 24 million, almost 5x. Woo! Okay. And then also, obviously, actions are up as well. So GitHub is focusing on adding capacity, improving efficiency, and removing architectural bottlenecks. Yeah, I mean, they're doing a lot. So shout out to the people at GitHub. It ain't easy being cheesy, but obviously, on all metrics that they're looking at, things are up and to the right over time. So definitely love to see that for people who are building with AI. All right, now let's go to my GitHub and take a look at the save point skill. So if you've been following along, you know what this is. If you haven't, this is your chance to check it out. This is save point. Oh, someone give me a star. I'll star it myself as well. Shout out to whoever gave me a star. And the entire idea here is I push code and maybe Claude says that it's passing the tests. Claude likes it, but that doesn't mean that I actually understand what's going on in the code. So if I open up a terminal here, let's see, can I get a terminal going? Can I get a terminal, please? I'm already in save point, and we can LS, you can see all of the good stuff that I have in here. And what I want to do today is deploy this, because right now it's not deployed. It simply runs on these scripts that are on my laptop. So basically, let me first get into the right place and then, oh, whoops, sorry, I copied the incorrect command. I got commands copied now, y'all. I'm learning how to do the streaming thing so that we won't have to go jumping around. So what does this command that I just did run? Sorry, this command I just ran do. This is my way of, in my system, saying the user answered a level stage one question solidly, and there was no assistance from the LLM, which is what the true or false is. And then the question's importance was 3. 4 and 5 is what Claude likes to call load bearing. Anything under 4 and 5 isn't load bearing. So this would be my way of saying, hey, okay, this question was answered correctly. And then the 2 is you've now been promoted to stage 2. And then you see we actually have a date here, which is a month away, which is when you're going to get that stage 2 question, right? So imagine the user came in, they answered one question, next 30 days they're going to get another question, doesn't matter where they are in the repo. The problem with this is this script, which I can actually CD into, simply lives on my machine, right? Whoops, sorry. Oh, what am I doing? No, I'm not in it. Okay, so boom, 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 I want you in my room. This is literally the script right here, right? Where I have deterministic recall, and I'm gonna look at the usage, I'm gonna update the stage, the quality, the assisted, the importance, and then I'm automatically gonna promote it depending on what stage you're on to auto schedule it moving forward. But like I said, I want to now take this and deploy it. What's the benefit of deploying it? Well, oh, sorry, I almost fell out of my chair. The benefit of deploying it is now my scripts will be available online, so my laptop could be closed, or I can share with other people, or I can have it be a part of my GitHub CI, right? That's what we were working on the last time is, what if you actually wanted this tool as part of your GitHub CI, right? That would be pretty cool. So what I want to do is deploy that joint, and I'm actually going to show you guys the MCP server first. Let's go ahead and clear. Okay, so CD MCP server, and then let's ls. And what we're going to take a look at is this deploy, which literally is just going to run this command arcade deploy. And this is actually a good time. I think we're going to do a little detour. I want to do everything today in the terminal. The goal here is to never have to open up a browser, but I do want to look at the deploy docs for Arcade, just because I think this is definitely something that is worth like diving into a bit, right? Because the nuances here could get a little tricky and bite you a bit, right? So let me see, 1 second, un momento. My click is giving me issues. Apologies. What's going on? What's going on? Okay, cool. So let's just go ahead and bada bing, bada bing, bada bing, pull up the docs. Okay, cool. So running your MCP servers locally is very convenient during development and testing. Once your MPC server is mature, however, you may want to access it from any MCP client or to facilitate multi-user support. Doing all that from your computer comes with the complexity of running and maintaining a server, handling auth, and high availability for all your users, and all the integrations you want to support. Arcade Deploy takes care of that for you. Your MCP server will be registered to Arcade, adding all the tools you created to the larger tool catalog. From there, you can create MCP gateways to pick and choose which tools you want to use in your MCP clients, which can be from any connected MCP server. So that was a lot of words, but basically what this means is I can turn these tools that I have I can turn these scripts that I have that are powering SafePoint into tools. So for example, I can have a tool that's going to check whether the answer is right or wrong. I can have a tool that decides how to schedule the questions. I can have a tool that decides how to handle the personas, et cetera, right? All these things that I'm doing deterministically in my code, I can just turn them into a tool. So that's literally what I'm going to be doing here with this Arcade deploy. And I'll have me a tool on the internet. So first, let's actually run this, which is arcade deploy. Oh, I already had it here, so I might as well just. Oh, did I not have it here? Sorry. Clear. Oh, whoops, I did this from the wrong spot. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. So let me blow this up to make it easier. And then what's happening here is that first it validated that I was logged in. It looked for my TOML, and then it looked for the entry point, found it all. Didn't find the M file. That's okay. And while this is running, this is a good time to actually bring you over to the arcade. Oh, it looks like we just got some movement right when I left. Okay. So, boom, you can safely exit with Control C. The deployment will continue normally, right? So it's deploying. What we can do though is if I go to app.arcade.dev, and if I, oh, whoops, sorry. Okay, if I go to Arcade and then I go to MCP gateways, you will see here that we don't have an MCP gateway for SavePoint. We have this email triage agent that we built. I think that was on Tuesday. Some things that I built, the Glimmer email assistant. But you can see here we do not have any kind of server. So the goal of running that command was, oops, sorry, these are wrong terminals. So the goal of running that command was simply to see, hey, can we get our server onto Arcade, right? And the answer is, of course, yes, we can get it onto Arcade. And then when it's in Arcade, what is the value of having it in Arcade? Well, let's take a look at this tool that I created, which has some custom tools, right? Oops, sorry. Okay, so I created this toolkit for Alpaca because if you're not familiar with Alpaca, it's a trading site, algorithmic trading, developer first API for stocks and options. And I built a trading desk using Arcade, right? So I have this Arcade Alpaca gateway, or sorry, tools in my gateway that allow me to do all of these different things that are part of Alpaca. I'm gonna do the same exact thing here today with SavePoint, right? So we're gonna deploy that server, and then what we're gonna do is basically be able to A, disseminate the server, and then B, also be able to have anyone connect to this as long as they have that URL. So the other thing is then it gets added to our whatchamacallit, our tool catalog, right? So Arcade already has all of these different tools that you can use. But the nice thing about Arcade as well is custom tools. So if you have your own tool that you want to create, you're good to go, right? You can do that. So that's something to keep in mind. Is just not only do we support those whatchamacallit, third-party ones, there's first-party, we got everything, baby. So let's see how this deployment is going. Looks like it's still cooking. It looks like it's still cooking. Let me maybe get a little. View full deployment logs. Yes. Okay. So deployment was successful. And then coming back here, you see that we still only have 4 gateways, but we could check out our deployment logs, you know, not very important. We get on this. Okay. So now, ooh, let me just do a new terminal. Now that we've deployed our server, right? Oh, sorry. Um, Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I'm not leaking any creds. Give me 1 second. Okay. Bum bum ba-dum, ba-dum, bum bum. Okay. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, I think I should be fine to show this. There's no creds in here. Okay. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I'm ready to share again. Sorry, I had to go off for a second. And now I'm back in good old save point. And Arcade has this cool command, which is arcade show. And what is arcade show going to do? It is going to show me the tools that we have inside of our, inside of our deploy gateway, right? So we have this check do, which is going to read the scheduling formatter and return derive repo ID. So make sure that we're in the right repo, get stats, hash the answer, list skills, load skills, and reschedule, right? So we just have 7 skills. Oh, whoops, sorry. We just have 7 different tools that we're using here. And oh, sorry. Wait. I'm getting lost in my oh, I'm just literally in the wrong place. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so now that's us actually running it, right, in the terminal just to show you, hey, we ran this at stage 1. It's doing a month. We're now on stage 2, and then here's our hashed answer, right? So we love that. And now we can, oh, what's going on? npm run dev. Sorry. My preloaded command still had comments in them, but that's okay. Okay, so now the Mastra Studio is running. So if we pull up the Mastra Studio, we literally see that we have save point inside of there, and I can ask a question, right? So I can say something like this. Oh man, I feel like I'm becoming a professional with the preloading, the copy paste. So boom, it's calling my save point reschedule tool via Arcade, and it's giving me the information, right? So I created this tool on my machine, I deployed it online, and now I can go inside the Mastra agent and I can actually use these tools, right? What other tools do you have? I could do that forever, right? Now it's working in the terminal, it's working in the chat, we want to now add it to Claude Code as an MCP server, right? So that's going to be our next step, is actually boom, 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 boom. We'll CD into SavePoint just to have a nice clean terminal. And let's go ahead and add this. Oh, I didn't paste the real gateway URLs. that makes sense, sorry. Let me grab this gateway URL. Okay. I have to redeploy it because I accidentally deployed it on a different whatchamacallit. On a different thingy. So now we have to go back into my terminal. So this is going to actually allow me to connect Claude Code to SavePoint, right? So we've deployed it, great, but we didn't actually have that gateway. So this is what is going to help us create the gateway. So first, Arcade is going to get the tool catalog, and then Arcade is going to create a gateway with the tools that we want. Then we'll have that URL, and I'll be able to properly paste. Oh, no toolkit. Yep. Did I might have messed this up. Because a classic example of not following the docs. Let me get back to my deployed docs, Arcade. Classic. Okay. Now let's redeploy this on the right account. I'm gonna have to log out one more time, sorry. Gotta get better at the transitions, but hey, work with me. Okay, let me get on the right account. Oh, I'm a silly person. I didn't realize that. I was just typing something wrong. Classic. Okay, so cool. Let's get back in here. Okay, so it was here. I just was typing save underscore point instead of camel case. Okay, so cool. Setting up gateway for toolkit save point. Gateway is created. I have this gateway link, and if I actually go onto the Arcade website, yeah, I'll just go manually here. Arcade.dev dashboard. MCP gateways. We're gonna see now that I have this save point MCP gateway, and it's got 7 tools. So what are these tools? Wow, it's the same exact tools that we talked about before, right? So check do, derive repo ID, all that good stuff. And notice in another gateway I have, for example, Gmail tools. So I'm building this custom server because I want to build SavePoint. But keep in mind, if you wanted to do this with Gmail, GitHub, Linear, Slack, whatever you can think of, you can also connect first or third party tools here, right? And we also have a bunch of optimized tools out there for y'all to rock out on. So we've now deployed it to Arcade. So the thing that I want to do is grab that command again that I had loaded, the one here, and then I just need to actually put in my real gateway. Give me 1 second. What is this URL? Oh, it gives it to me here, actually. I don't even need to go there. Okay, so boom, 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 boom. Okay, so now I just added SavePoint to Claude Code. So if I run Claude /MCP, SavePoint needs authentication. Great. So I'm going to tell it to authenticate. It's going to open up a OAuth consent screen. Let me bring this down here so y'all can see it. I'm going to sign in. I'm going to be authenticated. Boom. And now I can use SavePoint in Claude Code. So, or I can even just do Claude, and I can run SavePoint in SavePoint, right? Oh, I run the SavePoint. Boom. So, what have we done here today? We got this MCP onto first our local machine. Then I deployed this MCP server using Arcade deploy. We're using Mastra, the agentic framework, to actually drive the MCP server. And right now, since I'm just a single developer building an MCP server for myself, a lot of this isn't too helpful, right? When this stuff starts becoming helpful is when I want to start distributing this to multiple people, when I want to start distributing it to different teams that might have different configs, et cetera, right? This is going to be the way that I can tell people, hey, I want you to actually run this skill. So the first thing that we do when you run SavePoint is that there is a setup. And for me, the emphasis is going to be on learning. You can do a progressive. So I'm basically answering, hey, how do I want SavePoint to work for me? These could just be defaults, but I'm going to put them in myself. New engineer, maintainer, operator. I'll go new engineer. Okay, and then I want to, let's do a deep dive. When do I want my feedback? I want verdict and feedback immediately. So that same script, right? And this is how it starts basically, is that you save everything to a profile. So now the same script, if we take a look at our MCP, we can see we have this SavePoint MCP, right? Boom, boom, boom. And we're going to be using that today to create my very first SavePoint profile. So now I've got this SavePoint profile created, and I can use it using both Arcade and Mastra. And I haven't gone too crazy with the features yet, but one very easy example of why I might use Mastra to drive this is memory. So Mastra has this really cool memory situation. They also partner with people like Elastic to help you with your memory. So the entire idea is basically, right now my agent is using a markdown file to keep track of everything. Well, I could plug that into the Mastra memory, and that's probably going to be a more fruitful way to go about it, right? So here I have my very first SavePoint question where it's decided that chapter 1 should be the runtime contract, chapter 2 is state on disk, chapter 3 is distribution, chapter 4 is recall delivery. We've got our maps, secrets, boss fight, boom. And then the very first question it asks me is trace one question through a session from the moment I ask it to the moment it's scheduled to come back, specifically at what exact moment does disk, what label, oh wait, is this cut off? Specifically, at what exact moment does the user's answers text first get written to disk, and what label does that entry carry at the moment? And what has to happen for that label to change? Then at close, which file records what, and what determines the date the concept comes back, right? So not the greatest question, quite frankly. I would prefer if it just asked me one question at a time. This is sort of one question, but then it dug in specifically. So I'm gonna say, my dog said so. So obviously my dog said so isn't gonna work, right? Save point's gonna come back and say, I don't know about this whole my dog thing, right? But today we're not really gonna improve this thing. We are just going to, once again, go to the Arcade website, check out these gateways, and then I actually think I want to do a little bit of reading on the tools section. So let's see. Oh, sorry. It just popped up with the book instead of giving me my answer. So I said my dog said so. And then it said only user authored answered, recorded verbatim the moment they're given, never blah, 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 blah. My dog said so is not the entry, but obviously question one is still open, right? Here are your options, etc. So you can probably improve the back and forth that you have with your AI, but everything's functional, right? And we can actually go inside of Arcade and we can see if we click on the audit logs, hey, look, you remember when I did this? Boom. So you can literally see me testing this and then deleting it and then creating it just now, right? And you literally have the timestamp. You've got all of that audit trail for yourself. And then once again, you can come in here and you can see exactly what tools you have, right? So what's the cool thing about this? Well, literally from here, I can add GitHub. Boom. Well, I'm not gonna do that, but I could just add GitHub. 43 tools is a lot, but we could add, you know, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. We could add any different tools that you see here, GitHub, Linear, Slack, etc. So I think that could be something that I do tomorrow. But this is a good place to end today, where we were able to get the app deployed on Arcade. Mastra is driving it, and we can use it anywhere we want, whether that's the Mastra chat, Claude Code, etc. Very cool. So now I want to get back into a little bit of reading, just a tad bit of reading. I want to go to this tool calling section and just check this out quickly. I don't think we'll have enough time to go through all of it, but take some notes and kind of see like, hey, how do the tools that we created compare to, well, I shouldn't say we, how do the tools that GLM 5.2 created compare to best practices? Tools are the functions that agents can call to perform specific tasks, whether that's fetching weather data, querying a database, or processing calculations. The key to effective tool use is clear communication with the model about what each tool does and when to use it. Here's an example of creating and using a tool. Okay, so this tool is going to get us weather info. The user is going to give it a city. It's going to log on the console that it's fetching the weather, and then it's going to return the temperature and the conditions. And boom, create a tool. Very straightforward, right? So best practices: provide detailed descriptions in the tool definition and system prompt. And in fact, this is a good time. Please open up my tools in editor, because I'm actually want to kind of have this side by side and ask ourselves, okay, did we provide detailed descriptions? Did we use specific input-output schemas? Are we using semantic naming that matches the tool's function? So, you know, don't use something like do stuff, do use something like, whatever it actually does. Okay, so oh, whoops, sorry. That just popped up on me. Okay. So remember, the more clearly you communicate. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I just want to read. Okay. Cool. So the more clearly you communicate a tool's purpose and usage to the model, the more likely it is to use it correctly. You should describe both what it does and when to call it. Designing your tools is the most important step. When you're creating an AI application, the most important thing you should do is think carefully about your tool design. So what tools will you need, and what will each of them do? So I think these are really good questions to be asking. What tools do you need, and what will each of them do, right? And once again, Sam has told us, write this list out clearly before you start coding, even if it's just jotted down on a napkin left over from lunch at your desk. So we have now a book recommendation agent. So Alana Goyal, master investor, wanted an agent that could analyze and give intelligent book recommendations. First, she tried dropping all the books into the agent's knowledge window. That didn't work too well. The agent couldn't reason about the data in a structured way. So then she broke the problem down into a set of specific tools, each handling a different aspect of the data. One tool for accessing the corpus of investors, one tool for book recommendations, one tool for books tagged by genre, and then more tools for common operations like get all books by genre, get book recommendation by investor, sort people writing recommendations by type. If a human analyst were doing this project, they'd follow a specific set of operations or queries. And I think this is probably the most powerful sentence we've seen so far, and also how you should be thinking about your agents. It's just, okay, if you were giving this job to a competent person, how would you do it, right? Think like an analyst. Break your problem into clear, reusable operations. Write each as a tool. And if you do this, your agent will be much more capable, reliable, and useful. So with that in mind, I actually want to just take a look at this this reschedule. Yeah, let's see. I think, yeah, instead of going too deep down this rabbit hole, let's save this for next time. And we're just going to keep today's stream about the deployment, and then we'll basically sit on this takeaway, and next time we can come back and start to think about how you should be thinking about the different tools that you have, right? So let's kind of bring it all back and think about what we've done so far. You signed up for Arcade, you signed up for Mastra, you created an agent, you created an MCP, you deployed that MCP, you're now driving that MCP server via Mastra, which is why you can go inside of, for example, my Mastra chat. Let me see if I still have that up. Oh, whoops. Whoops. Okay, so I can literally go to, what was it? It was localhost 411. Yeah. My agent, save point, and I can say, what tools do you have? And it's going to have those same tools that you can see in Arcade if I go to my Arcade dashboard and I look at these tools, right? So this is how we're now getting synced. These tools aren't just like only on my machine. I have them in Arcade, so I can now use them in Mastra. I can use them in Claude. I can use them in Cursor. I could use them wherever you can think of, right? I can build a website. I can have it as part of my GitHub CI, etc. And that's really the beauty of it. There's still so much we can do, but I think the most important thing is going to be coming back and talking tomorrow about how do we break this down into something. I think we might have reached AI's limits in terms of building stuff, right? AI tried to create a coherent story with the tools, but I will say that this is the probably most critical part of having a human in the loop is the natural language. It's a little ironic, but if it's something that's going to be read or written, then yeah, you should actually have the human do it, coming up with what the tools should be, for example. 'Cause, yeah, you can have an LLM create the plan, but not something I would recommend. I think that you should use your human effort to think about what are the jobs to be done, how do I want to break this MCP down into multiple tools, and then you should let the agent actually write the code, but you shouldn't be letting the agent decide what kind of architecture you're going to have in terms of should, check do and reschedule be one tool, or how overloaded or underloaded should a tool be. Oh, should this tool work with Haiku as well as it does with open, all of those things are things you have to consider. And quick shout out, I have to give a quick shout out to Toolbench, as well as now we have Skills Bench. I forgot. So these are both things that I'm going to be, skill, there we go. Okay, so we have Skill Bench, which is going to benchmark skills. And then we also have Tool Bench, which is going to benchmark tools. The interesting thing is it looks like people are a lot better at writing skills than they are at writing tools, which checks out to me because obviously tools can do things that skills cannot, but we see that only 0.5% earned A or above. Here, it's 7,000 out of 40,000, so a lot bigger percentage is able to get to the A. And we should dig into why is it so much easier to create a quality skill than a quality tool, right? But that's basically it today. So we got that thing deployed, read a little bit on how tools should be optimized, and then next time, I think it's going to be probably the first stream where we don't use any AI at all, and we just sit down and bang out a Google Doc on how we want this application to work. And then we can feed that doc to a preferred AI so we can actually build it. So thank you all for joining me today. TDAI, baby. I will see you on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. Deuces.